For families in La Guitarria, Nicaragua, raising livestock and farming is a way of life. Corn, beans, and cacao provide meals and provide a living. Every day, the 4,000 residents of 10 rural communities cross the Rio Wanawas to reach schools, healthcare, and markets, where they buy their goods and sell their produce. But even a small amount of rain can bring floods and quickly cut off the community from the resources they need.
When the river is really high, a group of people will come out to monitor if the water level goes down to allow people to pass. And if you can't pass it, you can't pass it.
High waters can take days, if not weeks, to recede. And during the rainy season, people can't wait that long to see a doctor or provide for their families. They have to cross the river.
When the river is deep, we would wait on one bank with a sick person, waiting until the river was shallow enough to walk the person through neck-deep water. About 6 to 8 people would carry the person overhead. Those are the kind of difficulties we had crossing without the bridge.
And sometimes the results are tragic.
There have been several deaths upstream in the past few years. And in 2017, for the first time, a woman drowned crossing right here.
The mother and her daughter tried to cross, and the rapid floodwater swept them both away. The mother was swept downstream a few miles to the larger Rio Tumas, falling victim to the perilous waters. Her body was later found by members of the community. The daughter clung to vegetation near the riverbank and was rescued by a dangerous operation. She still lives in the community, and their story solidified the community's need for a bridge. Imagine what a big difference a small footbridge can make in a community like La Guitarria. That's the premise behind Bridges to Prosperity, a nonprofit with a vision of ending poverty caused by rural isolation. Before the work begins, B2P studies the community's needs and their engagement to make the project happen. Then B2P partners with community members to prepare the site and source local materials for the build. Together, they share sweat equity in the project. All of the wood for the bridge's decking and cross members were sourced from local trees on the site, rough cut to size by craftsmen using only a chainsaw. B2P rounds out the team with volunteers from corporate partners like HDR. In 2018, 5 employees volunteered their time and paid their own travel expenses to participate in the final phase of the build in La Guitarria. Once there, the team slept in a camp set up on the project site. They ate 3 meals a day, each built upon the staples of rice and beans, and all prepared by the foreman's wife, Merli. Before volunteers from HDR arrived for the final build of the superstructure, the local B2P foreman and his crew built the concrete foundations and prepared most of the superstructure materials. Scaffolding for the towers was first to be erected. After the scaffolding, the east and west towers began to rise, boasting blue and white stripes from the Nicaraguan flag.
The basic necessities we're trying to fill here at B2P are providing access to healthcare, to education, and for work accessibility, because a lot of people, either the school will be on one side of the river or the other side, and there's always people that are crossing. Same with people going to their jobs every day that can't make it if it rains heavily.
Some materials, such as steel cables, were donated by industry partners. The rest of the construction materials were funded by a $36,000 grant from the HDR Foundation.
The work ethic is another thing. I'm floored by it. They will go the 8-10 hours a day with nonstop until they get their task done. And yeah, I can see the pride they take in their work. Yeah, it's been pretty awesome.
Prefabricated steel cross members were fastened to wood planks and then were connected to the lower end of the suspenders from which they would soon hang. Once the suspenders and cross members were hung from the bridge's main cables at regular intervals, the decking planks began to be laid and fastened from both ends. The final step was to attach the bridge's fencing for safety and fall protection.
A lot of people here, including the locals, have never built a bridge before, and they're really willing to learn. So you have to be patient in teaching them step by step, and it's definitely something that helps you as a person as well.
At the end of a B2P build, the community gathers to celebrate, to say thank you, and to walk across the bridge.
I mean, this bridge is going to have a huge impact from just the people we've asked questions of today. So many economic opportunities, so many education opportunities for the community.
These communities have the opportunity to thrive a bit more. Before the bridge, people would lose their harvests and their basic grains. But now with the bridge, we won't lose anything. All of that work is a net economic gain for the community. It raises the community up economically.
The elderly, pregnant women, and people with illnesses won't have to risk crossing the river to see a doctor. Mothers won't have to choose between their child's education and their safety.
I am happy that they are doing this bridge for the children, so they can cross without danger, and everything will be okay. You're saving lives. That's why you are here, like firefighters.
The bridge leaves a lasting impact in the community, and the community leaves a lasting impact with each volunteer.
I would say the best thing has been the people and the reactions that we've gotten, especially when the bridge itself began to form. I noticed the people passing by were actually getting off their horses, getting off their motorcycles, and coming over and shaking our hand in thanks. And that was really a gratifying. That means we made a difference. Yeah, I thought that was neat.
Thanks.
Yep.